Got a paddle out to the boys of about 400 metres, and this will be a fantastic race.
Yes, it certainly will, and you see on the right-hand side of your picture on the fourth ski in, that's Chris Bond and Peter Lang from the entrance. The blue ski at the front, white at the back. But there's Kelly and Clark now, moving up towards the apex of the boys. Probably got to go a good 100 metres before they can get away. But on the right-hand side of your picture, it's Kelly and Clark. Kelly and Clark, there's the cap of Manly, the light blue. That's Barry Kelly and Peter Clark. Chris Bond and Peter Lang from the entrance coming on a wave out the back with Grant Kenny and Danny Sheard. But look at the lead they have. That's about 15 metres to go to the finishing flag, and the crowd starting to applaud Barry Kelly, one of the all-time greats of surf life-saving competition. He throws his paddles in the air, and they're jubilant as they cross the flags.
The second Australian double ski title for Barry Kelly. He won back in 1977 with Peter Jaeger. The first for Peter Clark. That pair coming from Byron Bay. Second, Chris Bond and Peter Lang at the entrance. And third to the dual national champions, Greg Bennett and Steve Wood from Manly.
Now it's Craig Shelton from Surfers Paradise now. Finished second last year, I believe, and certainly led them home in the leg of the Ironman last year. But Shelton from Surfers Paradise doing it well.
The position in the open board final as they come round the boards, it's Shelton, Hendy, Ties and Maynard.
They're both taking this little skate here, and that's going to pull them away a little bit. The competitor in the background there was the Grange competitor. These come down the wave now. Can Hendy retain his title? Ties gets his way over the wave. He corners across. This is a dry finish up the beach. Ties is in good shape. Hendy's got his board. Ties has got his. The big legs of Trevor Hendy push him up there and across the line. And the Australian Ironman champion is now also the board champion.
So Trevor Hendy, second last year in Scarborough, wins his first open surfboard national title. Dwayne Ties of Seacliff second, and Gavin Hill completes a good double for South Australia. So they've come round the boys in the open single ski and they'll head for home. There are no waves at the moment, but rest assured they'll be coming up in a moment. Look at the big petrol tanker out the back. They've got a great view of the national championships.
And using as much petrol as he can is Peter Foster from Northcliffe. Foster on the left-hand side of the screen, Bond in the middle, and it's Foster starting to paddle first. Bond's in the middle there, Buchan from Cronulla. Now Foster loses his ski a little bit. Chris Bond puts on a spurt now. There's not too far to go, and on behind them there's a huge wave with a lot of competitors. But look at these leaders go. It's Buchan from Cronulla coming over another swell, really pouring it on. Warren Buchan from Cronulla, and here comes Chris Bond. Bond is going to power through there, and it was either Bond from the entrance or Buchan from Cronulla.
So a wonderful success for Chris Bond of the entrance, winning his second national title from Warren Buchan of Cronulla, with Andrew Book of Alexandra Headland taking the bronze medal.
And we'll return to Cronulla for the men's and women's beach sprints in just a couple of minutes at Wanda.
In orange is Collins, black is Stoust, white is Irwin, red is McGrath, green is Bolton, and 6 is McGuigan. Away they go, and a good start by Doust, looking good. And in the yellow on the left-hand side of your screen is McGuigan. It's going to be close. McGuigan, can she hang on? I think she might win it. Coming through on the orange, the other side is Collins. McGuigan gets there. Collins is second, and very close for third.
Yes, well, a great race, and what a fantastic finish here. The girl on the bottom of the picture, Kerry McGuigan from Southport, Queensland, really came home strongly, and Megan Collins from North Stain down the bottom in the orange jacket forced herself into second place. But the other 4 competitors all crossing the line within about a quarter of an inch.
And Kerry McGuigan of Southport in Queensland takes out the women's beach sprint title from Megan Collins of North Stain, and it's Sarah McGrath from one of the host clubs, Allura. Set and away this time. A good start by Hickson in the orange. Also Darren Peters in the red. Peters going very well. Coming through in the black is Savamaki. It's going to be close. A big finish from in the green. That's Congoos. I think Peters will hang on. It's a very close finish between Peters and Congoos in the green. And what a magnificent finish by Congoos from Anglesea. Darren Peters probably thought he hung on, but a very close finish to the open men's beach sprint. They're the 2 contestants.
Yes, well now you see them coming up. You see Congoos on the left-hand side of your screen, Hickson on the right-hand side. Peters surges through. He throws his arm out towards the finish. Congoos comes at him. He's getting closer and closer and closer, and really gets almost in stride of him. I think Congoos has got it.
And Paul Congoos of Anglesey got the judge's decision in the open beach sprint, giving Anglesey their first national title since 1978, when Peter van Miltenburg won the crown. Darren Peters of Wollongong was second, and third Paul Broadhurst from Cronulla.
And we'll be beaming back to Wanda Beach next for the frantic action of the boat race.
Here today to see whether Ross Jorgensen sweeping the crew from Bungan Beach, and they're away. And there's the defending champions. They call them the midgets from North Cronulla. They're four of the biggest men I've ever seen. And North Cronulla A crew in the second boat from your left on the screen there. There they are, straining and pulling on those oars as their sweep. Steve Swain calls for the effort to take them out. Now, North Cronulla and Bungan had a magnificent battle last year in Scarborough, with North Cronulla getting the edge in about the last 5 or 10 metres. It'd be great to see if they can keep their title here. They're moving out, some waves coming up. North Cronulla, oh, North Cronulla got a boat full of water there. That's not going to help them at all. And look at the lead that the Grange has got in our picture. In the white boat, the Grange heading out to sea from South Australia. A great shot as they come into the buoys here. They'll turn around and Grange will certainly turn first. Bungan's moved up. We'll watch how well Jorgensen turns Bungan and Wind Shuttle turns Palm Beach. And Phil McGuigan from Coogee there, the sweep, pushing round. Two hands, the crew's starting to row again, but it could take a wave to do it. But there's the Grange crew from South Australia, swept by Gil Barton, and putting in a huge effort. Now, a few swells starting to build up out the back for these boats to get a lift on.
Yes, Grange have dominated the surf boats in South Australia for a long, long time now. I mentioned they won the Interstate Trophy, defeating North Cronulla on Thursday, and looks like Grange might be picking up a small wave, and this would really give them an enormous lead coming towards the concluding stages of the open surf boat.
Yes, and Barton's calling for the effort, and Grange is going to come over the top of that wave. Now, all he has to do is hold it straight, and it's building up. It's quite a nice wave. He's got to negotiate this sandbar and shore break. Out the back, we've got the other crews. Palm Beach is over on the right-hand side, but here comes the Grange, and they're very, very happy with what they're doing. Now, you see Palm Beach there, the Grange in front of them. Grange is going to come in and win this Open Boat Race Championship of Australia. There's a very good wave out there for Coogee also. But look at the Grange, they're coming into the finishing line, and South Australia have taken out the Open Boat Race Championship, and it's a magnificent race. Now, the minor placings, very, very close. We see the three crews starting to come in. The red boat on the top of the screen is Bungan. But here comes Coogee, it looks like. Or the North Cronulla B crew, perhaps. No, it was Coogee into second place, and it will be Bungan Beach into third position.
And Grange confirmed the first South Australian crew ever to win a national surf boat title. And it's been a long period. They've worked hard and dominated the state scene. And now they've completed the double here at the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships. And this is North Cronulla, A team. Steve Swain, the sweep, and the feelings after getting swamped early on. But still, that's Surf Life Saving, champions last year, and finishing in the 6th spot in the final in 1988 at Wanda. Grange of South Australia, decisive winner in the open surf boat race from Coogee A and the Bungan Beach of New South Wales.
And we return to Wanda Beach for the final time in just a few minutes to pick up the gold ribbon event, the exhausting Orange Wills once again with Paul Smith.
And that's the side looking down at the 15 starters lining up for the final of the Open Ironman. They're ready to go. That's Grant Kenny. He seemed to be very relaxed in the interview, and Paul Smith, you selected Freshwater to win the March Past. Trevor Hendy, the open board race. Can Trevor Hendy defend his Ironman title?
Yes, Roger, I believe he can, and I think that he's going to have an enormous challenge thrown at him by Darren Mercer of Thurul. But the field here is just full of class. We've got Craig Riddington, 3 times a runner-up, once third, and he's going to be in there as well.
And away they go. The order for the Ironman is swimboard and ski.
Yes, and you saw Grant Kenny dive there. Greg Naylor from City of Perth in the white cap with the red and black stripes. They're all lined out. Amongst the field, as we say, we've got Trevor Hendy, the current champion. Robert Chapman from Allura. Didn't look like he'd get a start, but got in as a replacement. Won his heat by about 100 metres. Guy Leach, the Coolangatta Gold winner, is also in there. I mentioned Darren and Dean Mercer. Dean Mercer having just competed in the junior Ironman. And Grant Kenny, Lars Humer. I mean, there's just so much talent available in this field.
So the early stages in the swim, they'll be coming out to a sandbank, and as you can see, spread right across there. And it's a long, choppy swim. There'll be waves all the way out to the buoy. And 15 minutes of some of the fittest men in the world. And the others competing, John Anderson from Stockton, Guy Leach has been mentioned, Greg Naylor from the city of Perth, Craig Riddington Manly, 3 times runner-up, Brent Pritchard Allura, Dwayne Ties of Seacliff, who won in 85-86, John Robinson now with Kurrawa, Lars Schumer of New Zealand has been mentioned, Brett Dowker of Thirroul, and Mark Bennett of Southport. This is his 11th final in a row.
Yes, and at the moment we've got Guy Leach out there in front in the swim leg. Guy Leach is an exceptional swimmer. He's wearing the yellow cap with the black and white stripes. Now Robert Chapman from Allura also up there, but you see Guy Leach, his arms lifting up strongly, swimming away, and Chapman over on the top of the screen in the light blue cap. That's Robert Chapman, 30 years of age, competing on his home beach, probably for the last time. Now Leach and Chapman having an enormous swimming duel here in this leg, and there's no doubt that if the swimmer's first, the event is favoured for the swimming competitors.
A number of the swimmers going out to the northern side, so they've got a big swim to come across back to the buoys.
Yes, they have, and already you can see Guy Leach on the bottom part of the screen here now, starting to move over to try and catch Robert Chapman. Chapman and Riddington. Riddington is also up there in the sky blue cap of Manly. And of course Chapman's cap is also sky blue with a little white circle around it. In fact, I believe they're coming into the turn now. Going along, we find that is Craig Riddington there in the lead. Craig Riddington from the Manly Club. He's been 3 times the bridesmaid. He came second in the open surf race here today, and what a brilliant swim that was for him to get out in front of Leach and really put a spurt on as they came to the turning buoys.
Yes, it'd be very important. Riddington would be expected to go well in the swim leg. It's people like Hendy, Dwayne Tyers and Grant Kenny. It's where they are after the swim, because remembering Grant Kenny has the ski as his final leg.
Yes, looking through the field now, I see Darren Mercer up into about 4th place. I think he's going to feature very strongly. Trevor Hendy, not really sighted, but the leader is certainly Craig Riddington from Manly. And they're really thrashing away as they come back towards the beach. There's Robert Chapman in the middle of the screen there with the light blue cap. Chapman moved up into 2nd place and in fact has overtaken Guy Leach. But right in the centre of the screen in the light blue cap, we see Craig Riddington. A little bit of a wave starting to build up out there. They'll miss the first one, but I think its next wave will be good enough for probably 2 or 3 or 4 competitors. Now Riddington has a little look over his shoulder there, surprised to see Chapman so close. Leach starts to come. Now here's the waves we're talking about. They'll be, oh, it's broken now. Leach has caught the wave. His head's coming out. I don't know whether Riddington was able to stay on. He has. He's just a magnificent surfer, Craig Riddington. He caught the broken wave and in fact has surfed it further than anybody else. So it's Riddington in 1st place. Robert Chapman, the 30-year-old from the Allura Club, in 2nd place, and Guy Leach from Kurrawa, Queensland, in 3rd position. Trevor Hendy does appear to have moved up into about 4th place. But Craig Riddington now stroking very, very strongly, looking under his shoulder each time he lifts that right arm. Right behind him on his heels, Robert Chapman, determined to go out of competition on an extremely high note. Riddington moves over a little bit now, sees where the finishing flags are. Leach right behind him. Well, Craig Riddington's really got the job in front of him to see whether he can keep this lead for the next 2 legs.
A lot of hard work to get back into the shore. Not many waves around. They have to do a bit of wading and a bit of a wave out the back to bring those who've been behind up. Now here's Riddington out of the surf, and this is the completion of the first leg. Remembering boarders next, and final will be the ski leg.
Right, now we see Riddington in 1st place running round him. On the left-hand side then is John Robinson from Kurrawa and Guy Leach from Kurrawa in 3rd. Then Robert Chapman from Allura in 4th. Now there's nothing between these leading 4 competitors. Riddington there in the black costumes, down, picks up his board. He'll be first in. Then comes Leach, Robert Chapman and Robinson from Kurrawa also in there. But we'll stay with Craig Riddington here. Pushes his board out and his powerful arms start to thrust him forward. There's Grant Kenny running along the beach now.
So Riddington off on the board, and it's virtually Indian file.
Yes, the competitors now will be happy to trail alongside the leader and go out in the wake, and Riddington really doing the work for the 2 Kurrawa competitors. Robert Chapman, though, is now accepting the challenge. and he's moved out to the side, and he's going to see if he can make any indentation on Riddington's lead. Few good waves coming up for them, Roger, as they cross this sandbar out here, and it's where you need the power in your arms. We see Grant Kenny there on the red and yellow board in the centre, the 4 times champion and all-time great, but he's behind the field there. And it's Craig Riddington there, board turned around badly, didn't really control it well going over the waves. Leach next to him, and looks like Robert Chapman also. 3 of them together there. Now Robert Chapman the closest to you on the bottom of the screen, Riddington in the middle, and Leach at the top.
And Leach with the advantage. If he can get closest to the boy, he'll turn. He'll have the tight turn. He's working very hard now.
Yes, well, they're all certainly working hard. Chapman sees that. He's about to move over on the inside. Riddington now puts on the spurt to pull away from Leach and does it with consummate ease as they head up there. Leach goes again. By gee, it's a magnificent event, this, and these men are just so fit. It is incredible the amount of training they put in throughout a season, spending up to 5 and 6 hours a day in the water. Now, as we come round on the inside, it looks like Guy Leach from Kurrawa in the yellow cap. On the outside, it's Craig Riddington from Manly. Right behind them is Trevor Hendy now, the current champion, on your right-hand side, looming up. He's wearing the light blue cap with the yellow star on the head.
Because he should go well. He's won the board race. It's his favoured leg. So this is the... he won it at the board leg opening the last year. So Trevor Hendy, he must do well on this leg to set himself up.
Well, look at them now. There's 4 of them on a wave, and Hendy's caught the wave. Criddington's caught the wave. Chapman's caught the wave, and Leach has caught the wave.
Fantastic.
An unbelievable finish. Now, there's another leg to go after this, and it'll depend just how quick they can sprint along the beach to get onto their skis and have the choice of the break as they go out.
Now they're still all on it, and you watch the skill of these surf lifesavers as they ride it as long as they can.
Now, we see there Hendy paddling very well. He's up and running. Leach still lying down on his board, but it's Trevor Hendy, the current champion, has fought back after a not very strong swim leg. Hendy running around there. In second place is Guy Leach from the Kurrawa Club. Coming up right behind them in third place will be Craig Riddington, and fourth will be Robert Chapman. But it's Trevor Hendy now. We have to see whether he can hold on to this lead that he has in the ski, because Robert Chapman and Craig Riddington are noted ski paddlers.
So Trevor Hendy, a slow start, getting underway in the final ski leg.
Well, one wonders whether Craig Riddington will ever win an Ironman. 3 times runner-up, and he's just had a little trouble on the ski there. Dropped back 2 or 3 metres. But Leach, very powerful as well, starts to push out. And Guy Leach in the yellow cap now has regained the lead. This is the red and yellow ski. It's Hendy in second position, Riddington in third, and Robert Chapman in Allure in fourth. Grant Kenny, way back. He originally told us he's done no training at all for the Ironman, preferring to concentrate on kayaking commitments and the Seoul Olympic Games later this year. Now the leaders paddling out there does appear to be Guy Leach from the Kurrawa Club in Queensland. Right next to him, Trevor Hendy. Third is Craig Riddington, and fourth, Robert Chapman. Now, Leach on the left-hand side of your screen there. You see Hendy's broad shoulders as he pushes those orange paddles into the water, trying desperately to get up there and get the inside run on the turning buoys. Craig Riddington paddling now at the bottom of the screen, doing the best he can, but he's still probably a full ski length behind Guy Leach. Now, this Ironman event, Roger, has gained publicity worldwide and really put Australian lifesavers to the fore.
Well, this will bring the big crowd right to their feet in the closing stage. As I mentioned, they go flat out for 15 minutes, and look at the setup as they're about to come round and turn for home in the open Ironman, and we have a magnificent setup here. Guy Leach, of course, moved to Kurrawa with John Robinson to really establish himself in the Ironman event. He's better at the longer ones, the Coolangatta Gold, but could this be his first Ironman? Hendy's trying to stop it.
I think Hendy used some great skills there. He cut inside of Leach, put on a big finishing sprint to get to the inside on the buoys, and was able to push Leach wide. Now, coming back to the beach, we've got Hendy half a ski length in front, but Leach motoring at 100 miles an hour there has caught him. He's only got to maintain that, and perhaps he can do it. The swell's building up, That's Trevor Hendy in the screen now, just coming down nicely, taking it easy. Leach is over on the side, also on the same wave, and we see Robert Chapman coming into view.
No real waves at the moment, so that makes it even more exciting. Looking over the shoulder, something starting to build up slowly.
Yes, and I think Robert Chapman will be in a position to get that wave out the back, but still Trevor Hendy looking good. Trevor Hendy's a pretty good runner. Guy Leach having one last burst to try and get at him, tries to force himself over a wave, but Hendy has pulled away in the closing stages of this Australian Ironman Championship. And look at Trevor Hendy. His legs are pumping and his arms moving. He looked behind, but Hendy is going to retain his crowd here. He's going to be the 1988 Australian Open Ironman champion, and he crosses the line with a smile right across his face, throws his arm in the air and says, "I've done it." What a magnificent effort. A great effort by Trevor Hendy, congratulated warmly by Guy Leach from Kurrawa, who finished in second place, and the luckless Craig Reddington will come up and once more take the bronze medallion.
Well done, Paul Smith. You selected Trevor Hendy, and after that swim leg, he was a long way to go, wasn't it? It appears to me that that board section was the one that gave him every opportunity, and there's a great example of the competitive spirit of these surf lifesavers after 15 minutes of brilliant competition. And the healthy face of Trevor Hendy took out that board race. Here's Grant Kenny coming through, looking around. He won't to finish last, but there's about 4 behind him. But Trevor Hendy, the spoils to the victor, and to do that, to win 2 in a row, is a truly magnificent effort. And now let's go down to Mike Smith, who's talking to Trevor Hendy.
Well, I've got the 1988 Australian Ironman champion, Trevor Hendy from Surfers Paradise here. 2 in a row, Trevor. Fantastic performance.
I'm really happy. I just can't believe I got there.
You were a little bit behind in that swim leg, but a magnificent board paddle brought you right back up to the field.
Yeah, I really put it in the board. I ran in after that swim, and I was the first one out of that group of 4, after that group of 4 to come out. And I raced out there and I got a good run in. And I just thought, this is what I just won the national title on, so I've got to do something on it. So I managed to get around the pack and come in on that same wave.
You did very well to hang on to that little wave in the shore break there, because Craig Reddington slipped off the back of it, and you did excellently well to get back right onto the beach, and then you were first onto the beach again. Yeah,
I was glad to have that little leg going out in the ski. Then when I hit going out in the ski, and that wave just cleaned me up, knocked me back on the bank, and I was just lucky to stay on, knocked me back with everybody, and from there I just had to get the right turn around the cans and come home.
Well, Trevor, that was another great performance, and let's see what can happen in 1989 at Burleigh Heads. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Mick.
So there's the winner of the 1988 Open Ironman at the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships, and looking back at the big crowd that really have enjoyed a fantastic performance by Trevor Hendy. The big crowd on the sand dunes here sweeping up towards the Kurnell refinery, and Trevor Hendy's performance, Paul Smith, really outstanding, wasn't it? He's got a big week coming up at the World Championships representing Australia.
Yes, I thought his performances today to win the open board race and then back up and win the Ironman, 2 of the toughest events, was truly fantastic.
Well, that's a fitting finale to finish the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships here at Wanda, the Bicentennial Carnival. It's been once again a magnificent success for the Surf Life Saving Association, and we do hope you've enjoyed our telecast.